Hey, what's up? What's going on? Welcome to English with Dane, a podcast designed to improve your English. As always, I'm your host, Dane, and you can find me on Instagram at English with Dane. If you'd like a transcript of the episode, let me know. Reading along while listening to the show is a great way to improve quickly. Write to me at englishwithdane@gmail.com if you don't use Instagram. Today's episode is about English for work, and it's dedicated to a good friend of mine, Ivan, or Ibi, as we call him. He's been asking me to do an episode about this for a while, so here it is. We're going to look at a few things. A phrasal verb you can use in the workplace. We're going to clear up a few common mistakes, and then take a look at some practical expressions and things to say in general when working with kids, but that also apply to anyone, really. So here we go. You are listening to the 13th episode of Season 2 of English with Dane. Hit it. Okay, we have officially started the show, and like I mentioned in the intro, we're starting with a phrasal verb. Phrasal verbs can be really tricky, and it's something most of my students struggle with. They have a hard time with them. I mentioned a few episodes ago that one of the reasons why people think they're difficult is because there are so many different ones to remember. That's why I just wanted to focus on one today. Eso sí, we're going to break it down and look at several of its meanings, varios de sus significados. The phrasal verb we're going to take a look at today is to set up. As you know, phrasal verbs are verbs that are combined with other types of words like adverbs or prepositions. And in this case, we have the verb set with the adverb up, giving us to set up. I chose this phrasal verb not only because it's quite common to hear in the workplace, but because it's a really practical one too. It has several different meanings, and I'm sure at least one of them will be useful for you. Let's take a look at the first one. To set up means to organize or plan something, such as an event or a system. For example, let's set up a meeting for Thursday to talk about the budget. Or maybe, I think we should set up a conference call with our top clients. So we use it like convocar in Spanish. If you're telling someone to convocar a meeting, you can say set up a meeting or set it up if you want to use a pronoun. So a word that replaces, que reemplaza, the thing you are talking about. Here's where a common mistake occurs or happens. Some of my students will say set up it because they are replacing the meeting with the pronoun it. But it's important to remember when including a pronoun that the best way to do it, or well, the only way to do it, is to separate the phrasal verb and put the pronoun in the middle. So we say set it up and never set up it. It can get tricky because people will say it quickly and you might miss it. You might hear set it up or tell them to set it up. Should I set it up? So watch out for that. All right, another meaning of the phrasal verb to set up is to start something, such as a business, institution, or organization. You'll hear someone say something like, I heard they set up an import business, or that's a great idea. We should set up a business around that service. So in this case, it can be used like empezar or montar. I like montar for this one. And speaking of montar, this brings us to our third meaning of the phrasal verb to set up. Cuando hablamos de montar a physical structure, this is the phrasal verb to use because to set up means to build a structure or to put it up in a particular place. When you go to an event where there are different stands, for example, puestos, like a book fair or Christmas market, etc., people get there or arrive early in the morning and set up their stands. They get tables, chairs, signs, and set up their stand or booth. If you play in a band, you are very familiar with the concept of setting up. You get to the venue, right, the place where you're going to play, and you have to set up. Get the drums and set them up behind everyone, get the amps and find a place to put them, decide where everyone is going to stand, etc. That's setting up. Okay, so let's do a quick summary before we move on. We looked at 3 meanings of the phrasal verb to set up. They were: 1, to organize or plan something. The example was, let's set up a meeting for Thursday. Number 2, to start something, such as an institution, business, or organization, as in, let's set up a business around that service. 3, to build or put up a structure in a particular place, montar in Spanish. Maybe something like, they arrived before everyone and set up the stand, el puesto. This phrasal verb has other meanings too, but those are for another day. For now, stick to these and let me know how it goes. Use it today. Try it out. Take it for a spin. Throw it into a conversation. Okay, as I mentioned in the introduction, today's episode is dedicated to my friend Ivan, who is the point guard on my basketball team and who has the second best Euro step on said team. I understand that you guys don't know him, but I thought it would be relevant because he's a physical education teacher and he has to speak to his students in English. We got to talking the other day, nos pusimos a hablar, and he was telling me he sometimes has a hard time coming up with things to say, to control them, to give them advice, to motivate them, etc. So here are a few ways to do that. This also applies to any of you who work in a team at the office, who manage people, or those of you who speak to your children in English, something which you should definitely do, by the way. So here's a list. These are things that I found myself saying in class a lot too. First, let's go through a few to control the class. Number 1, calm down. This is a good alternative to just saying relax, because I found that saying relax makes people more upset. And so does calm down, to be fair. But when dealing with kids, I think calm down works better. Number 2, settle down. This one is really similar to calm down, but it's less about being angry or frustrated and more about just the class being noisy or too excited in general. Settle down is maybe the thing I've said the most in my life when being in a classroom with kids. Be careful with this pronunciation. You might have to practice it a little bit because the TL sound doesn't come too easily to a lot of my Spanish students. They say setel instead of saying settle. But hey, you know how I feel about accents. As long as what you're saying is correct and people can understand you, I really, really don't mind a strong accent. Number 3, lower your voice. This one is a good alternative to just saying be quiet, and is again very similar to the second one, but this one is specifically about volume. Lower as an adjective means más bajo que, but as a verb, it also means bajar. So you're telling them to bajar el volumen, really. I wanted to take this moment to point out or talk about another common mistake. It's not a mistake in terms of grammar, but more in terms of tone. Here in Spain, people use the verb callar much more loosely than in other places. You'll hear teachers say callaros, and it doesn't sound that bad. People think that saying shut up is the equivalent, but I don't think it is. Shut up sounds quite strong in English, and is not really the same as saying callaros or cállense, as I would say. In terms of how strong it sounds, to me it's closer to cierra la boca, which is pretty rude. So in general, when talking to people, you should use be quiet and not shut up. Let's take a look at a few ways to get them ready for an activity, explanation, talk, etc. Number 4, take a seat. This one is an alternative to sit down. It's simple, but I think it's more elegant. Number 5, huddle up. This is a great one. To huddle, spelled Huddle, is when everybody comes together in the same place and one person talks. When a team gets together very quickly to talk about strategy or to communicate something without the other team hearing, right? To huddle up. Number 6, bring it in. This one is great too. When we say bring it in, we're not saying tráelo dentro, but if you want to translate directly, then I guess we are. Bring it in can be used before and after whatever activity you're doing. It's similar to huddle up in a way, but you can use it more freely. You would say, dirías, bring it in when the team is finishing the warm-up, el calentamiento, and you're about to start playing. It's when the team gets together for one final talk before starting the match or the quarter or something. But it's also what you can say when the game or activity is finished and you want to finish by saying a few words. It signals the end, right? It signals that the activity is done too. So kids are playing and finishing whatever they're doing, or a team is just standing around after a game and you say, okay, bring it in. And people will come to you and listen. This is when you can do your team chant or whatever it is you do. Ivan, this is what I say before I say 1, 2, 3 notes on our basketball team. I say, all right, bring it in. Number 7, line up. A good phrasal verb to use when organizing people in general. Line up means to form a line. It's simple but effective, and it's better than get in a line or get in line, because get in line also means behave or can mean adapt to society even. So line up is something quick that you can use to get your students or whoever it is to form a line. Also, it feels cool because you feel like you're in the army and you're telling your troops what to do. All right, let's finish with a few things to say to motivate and congratulate your students. Number 8, you got this. This is an alternative to the classic, you can do it. I think it comes from the saying, you got this in the bag, which is like, ya lo tienes, está hecho. It's a great way to talk to your teammates, colleagues, students, or whoever to give them some confidence before they give a presentation, play a football match, or even do an exam. You say, come on, you got this. Number 9, trust your instincts. I love this one. I think a lot of the time we think too much, and sometimes we just have to react and do what our bodies tell us to do in the moment, especially when it comes to sports. So saying trust your instincts is a good way to remind them to do exactly that, which leads me to the next one, number 10. Don't overthink. This one is similar to trust your instincts in a way because you're asking the same thing of them. Don't think too much. Just react and trust that it will be okay. Be comfortable not thinking, right? Don't overthink. It's kind of like saying, no te compliques. And finally, to finish off, a few things to say after they do something. You can say, great job, or that was perfect, or I knew you could do it. Sabía que podías hacerlo. I think no matter what you say, it's kind of about the way you say it. Be enthusiastic and actually mean it. Don't just say it. I say things like, oh, you nailed it, which literally translates to lo has clavado, to nail, clavar, right? Or you're killing it, which sounds a bit weird because it's like lo estás matando, but it actually means lo estás partiendo, la estás partiendo in Spanish. All right, that's my advice for today. I hope it was helpful. If you think it was a lot of information, I urge you to ask me for the transcript of the episode. Write to me at English with Dane on Instagram or send me an email at englishwithdane@gmail.com. Following along with the transcript is a great way of remembering what we talk about, and it's a great study tool. Don't forget to subscribe to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. Remember, the best way to support English with Dane is to give it a 5-star rating, leave a review, or just share it with friends, family, or anyone who you think would enjoy it. All right, talk soon. Later.